What's up guys, Chris Simmons here with Gunline Shooting, and today we're going to be talking about how do I clean my centerfire rifle. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to remove the bolt, and I'm going to ensure the chamber is clear, nothing is in there. I'm going to pull my cheek piece off just so it don't hit my rod. Go over some of the products I use. So this is a universal bore guide. We slide that in, tighten it up, and that just keeps fluids out of your trigger and keeps your rod aligned as we're cleaning so we don't mess up the chamber. A couple things I use one rod. It's got a brush, specifically a bronze brush, and then just another rod with just a jag for my patches. And then the other is just this little chamber cleaning rod. It just allows me to get in there and clean that chamber area without being far off of the gun with the longer rods. So, first step I'm gonna do is, so I have a 22 cal rod, and I'm using 1 3/4 square patches. So I'm gonna take this, put it on the jag, and I'm using Pro Shot copper solvent. So it's a really good solvent for copper and carbon, all in one solvent. And I just put it in these little squeeze balls. You can get these off Amazon. Makes it a little easier to get on the patch without making a mess. So I'm just going to take that in. I'm going to run it down the bore, get the bore nice and wet. And that is really black, so it's carboned up pretty good. So I'm going to do that with about 5 patches. Get that bore good and soaked in with that solvent, and I'm gonna let that work for a few minutes while I do a few other things, and we'll go over that as well. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a chamber mop, or just a mop, and that is a 6mm mop. I'm gonna put it on my little chamber rod here, and I'm going to wet this mop. Alright. And I'm going to run that down right there in that chamber area. Just give it a little spin. And I'm just going to let that sit. Alright. What that's going to do is that's going to dissolve that carbon ring there in the front of the chamber. And while that's soaking, I'm going to do a few other things. So I'm going to take my bolt apart here. I'm going to disassemble it. This disassembly tool. Alright, this is going to expose my firing pin spring, bolt. So we're going to clean this. See, this firing pin, really dirty, spring's dirty. So we got to take that apart and clean that. So for this, I'm just using the Pro Shot Pro Clean. That's just an all-purpose cleaner. So I can take a rag, lay it out. We're going to spray this whole area here. And I'm just going to take a brush. This is just a bronze brush. And I'm just going to clean this really good. Clean that up. Alright. Dry all that off. And you could even take this firing pin completely apart, pull the spring apart. I do recommend doing that ever so often. and get up and under that spring really good. I just done this not long ago, and I haven't been out in any wet conditions, so we're not going to take it all the way apart completely today. So I'm going to dry all that up good, clean that up, make sure that firing pin's still good. Just inspect it. That looks good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the bolt body itself. Same thing. Spray it down as well. And mainly for the bolt body, I'm just wiping it down. And then our concern here is going to be the bolt face. So I'm going to take that brush, get in that face under the extractor. Clean all that out. And then I have these little Q-tips. These are extra long Q-tips. So I'm going to get in here, get in that firing pin hole, all around in here in the bolt face, under the extractor. I want to make sure all that's cleaned out. And around these lugs. I'll make sure these lugs are clean. Good thing about these little Q-tips from ProShot is one of them is like a cone shape and one of them's like a regular shaped Q-tip. So it allows me to get in all these little holes, get any debris out of them, clean that up nice. Take a look, see how we did. Pretty clean. Come here to the back of the bolt, inside this area. One thing also about these is they're extra long, so I can run this in here and actually get down inside this bolt body, dry it up, clean in there any debris. And yeah, it's pretty dirty, so actually I'm gonna get another one of those, a couple of those. We're going to get down in there as well. Dry all that out. Yeah. So pretty dirty in there. Yep. All right. It's all good. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of this Pro Gold and I'm going to put just a little bit on these threads. Alright. Then I'm going to put just a little bit here. That way when we put this back together, that lubrication is going to go in those threads. It's going to help keep moisture out from that firing pin spring. Put that back together. Alright. Bolts back together, clean, dry. Take a little bit of this. And I'm just going to run that here on the lugs. And there we go. So when you get ready to put that back in the gun, that'll go in and lube the lug raceway. Alright, so now we have our chamber soaking, barrel soaking. Next thing I'm going to do, pull this rod out where that has been soaking, and then we're going to go to bronze brush. So I'm going to go in here. That's a brand new bronze brush. I'm going to run this probably 30 strokes. Alright, pull that out. You can see how black that turned. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to regular rod with the jag, back to my patches. And we're gonna go back to the copper solvent. And she is back black. So people ask me, how often do you clean? So if I shoot it, I clean it. If I go out and I shoot one round, I come in here and I clean it. If I shoot 100 rounds, I clean it as well. You cannot be consistently dirty. You can be consistently clean. So if I do this process every time I shoot, when I go to a match, I know that my process is the same, and I begin the day consistently. I hear a lot of people say, well, when it stops shooting, or my groups open up, I clean it. How do you know when your groups are gonna open up? You don't. So I just ran 3 or 4 wet patches. I'm gonna go back to the bronze brush and I'm gonna give it another 20 or 30. One more time, we're gonna go back to copper solvent. Just see how it looks. Still some black coming out. So depending on how dirty your rifle is, you may have to repeat this process several times. I always like to start with a brand new bronze brush because those bronze brushes will get wore out. Usually one cleaning bronze brush is done. So you can see that's the second patch and it's almost clean. So I'm gonna run one more wet. This one I'm actually gonna go back and forth. And as you can see, that patch is clean. Dry our rod with a rag. Now we're gonna go to a dry patch and we're gonna dry this barrel out. And it'll take a couple of these. Dry that barrel out nice. There we go. So that was 3 dry. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this rod out, or this bore guide out, and I'm gonna run just a dry patch through this chamber, through the action into the chamber, because what happens when you have that bore guide in, you'll get fluid build up in the chamber. So I like to pull that out and run a dry patch in, just dry that chamber out good. And I'm actually gonna do that twice. There we go. Now, last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my little chamber rod. So I'm gonna take a 30 cal bronze brush. Pro Shop makes these little action wipes. This fits over a 30 cal bronze brush. Goes on just like that. This is a 2-lug. This is for Remington 700 2-lug action. That goes in, and this is just gonna clean this action in the lug raceway. So I'm gonna take it in, spin it, lug raceway, and I'm gonna pull that back out and that just cleans my my lug raceway out. So you can see how dirty that was, just one pass. So I'm gonna spin that around, send that back in, one pass, pull it back out, and there we go. So that's that. All right, so that's the barrel cleaned. We've got our action, our lug raceway's clean, our bolt is clean, it is lubed. I'm gonna stick that back in, and I'm just gonna cycle this bolt, and that just gets that lube. Get your action lubed up. I'll pull that back out. I'm gonna just wipe this back here, the excess. Stick that back in, and we are good to go. Put our cheek piece back on so we don't forget that when we head to the match. And that's it, guys. That's cleaning a centerfire rifle. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.